Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. The world out there is full of distractions, full of noise. People will tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. They'll have their opinions, their expectations, their demands. But here's the truth. If you don't focus on yourself, you're going to lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, you lose everything. Too often we get caught up in the hustle of life, trying to please everyone around us, our families, our friends, our colleagues, and even strangers on social media. We give so much of ourselves to others that we forget the most important person in the equation, ourselves. We forget to prioritize our own needs, our own desires, and our own mental and emotional well-being. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean being selfish or disregarding others. It means recognizing that you cannot pour from an empty cup. When you focus on yourself, you're not abandoning the people around you. In fact, you become more capable of showing up for them. You become more resilient, more energized, and more capable of giving. But first, you have to give to yourself. You have to make sure that you are healthy, physically, emotionally, and mentally. You have to recognize your own value and ensure that you're not constantly giving away pieces of yourself to others while leaving nothing behind for your own growth. Prioritizing yourself means setting boundaries. It means recognizing when you're stretched too thin and having the courage to say no when something isn't in alignment with your own goals or well-being. Too many of us say yes to things out of obligation, fear of disappointing others, or a sense of duty. But the truth is, every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to something that can enrich your life, whether that's time for yourself, time with loved ones, or time to chase your own dreams. By prioritizing yourself, you're giving yourself permission to take control of your life, to direct your energy where it matters most. Focusing on yourself also means listening to your own needs and desires. How often do we ignore our inner voice in favor of pleasing others or following what society tells us is the right path? The truth is, you know yourself better than anyone else ever will. You know what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled, and what helps you grow. Trust that inner wisdom. Focus on your own passions, your own growth, and your own joy. Don't let the noise of the world drown out your true desires. Taking time for yourself might look different for everyone. It could be carving out time for hobbies, investing in your health, or simply spending time alone in quiet reflection. Whatever it is, it's necessary. When you make yourself a priority, you're not just improving your own life, you're creating a stronger, more centered version of yourself, which ultimately benefits everyone around you. Too many of us live our lives in pursuit of external validation. We constantly seek approval from others, whether it's our parents, our friends, our bosses, or even strangers on social media. We tailor our actions, decisions, and behaviors to fit what we think others expect of us, hoping for praise or acknowledgement. But here's the problem. When you live for the approval of others, you're living in someone else's vision for your life, not your own. And no matter how hard you try to meet those expectations, you'll always feel a sense of emptiness because deep down, you'll know you're not living authentically. Seeking approval is an exhausting cycle. We modify ourselves to meet other people's ideas of success, and we continue to chase that approval, never truly satisfied. The more we seek validation from others, the more we depend on their opinions for our sense of self-worth. This dependency leads us away from who we truly are, clouding our judgment and distracting us from our own passions, values, and dreams. It's like building your identity based on someone else's blueprint. An identity that's fragile and easily shaken when their opinions change or when they stop offering the validation we crave. When you focus on living for yourself and stop seeking constant approval, you free yourself from that cycle. You start making decisions based on your own principles, your own goals, and what truly feels right for you. You start to realize that your worth isn't determined by how others see you, but by how you see yourself. You become less concerned with fitting into other people's expectations and more focused on shaping your own life according to your desires and aspirations. It takes courage To stop seeking approval, it means facing the fear of judgment, the fear of rejection, and the fear of being misunderstood. But when you let go of the need for approval, you begin to make choices that align with your true self. You start taking risks, following your passions, and doing what brings you joy without worrying about whether others will approve. This shift in perspective allows you to live freely, to grow in ways that are authentic to you, and to embrace your uniqueness without the need for validation. Living for yourself doesn't mean isolating yourself from others or disregarding their opinions altogether. It simply means recognizing that while their opinions may matter, they don't define your worth or determine your happiness. You are the one who holds the power to shape your life, and when you stop seeking validation from others, you unlock a level of confidence and self-assurance that no external approval can ever provide. Every day we make decisions that shape our lives, yet too many of us make those decisions based on external pressures, fear, or doubt. We second-guess ourselves, letting the opinions of others influence us, or holding ourselves back because we're afraid of making the wrong choice. But here's the truth. The choices you make today will dictate the path your life takes tomorrow. You are the only one who can decide where you go, how far you go, and the kind of person you become. If you don't own your choices, you're allowing others or circumstances to control your destiny. When you own your choices, you take responsibility for the direction of your life. You stop blaming others or your circumstances for where you are or where you're not. Instead, you recognize that you are in control, and every decision, big or small, is a step toward creating the life you want. It's empowering to realize that you are not a passive bystander in your own story. You are the author, the director, and the lead actor. But owning your choices requires something crucial: confidence in your own judgment. It means trusting yourself. Even when things don't go as planned, there will always be uncertainty. But when you trust your instincts and believe in your ability to navigate challenges, you empower yourself to make bold moves. Even if things don't turn out perfectly, owning the decision gives you the opportunity to learn and grow. You understand that setbacks are not failures. They are lessons that help refine your path and your purpose. Too many of us live our lives according to what we think others want or expect. We make choices based on the idea of what will they think or will this please them, instead of considering, does this align with my values, or is this the life I want to build? The problem with this is that when you live for others, you are constantly compromising who you truly are. Your choices are dictated by fear, by societal expectations, and by the idea that you need to prove something to someone else. In the end, you're left with a life that doesn't feel fully yours because it was built on decisions made for the wrong reasons. Owning your choices doesn't mean you always have to get everything right, but it does mean you're taking control of your future. When you decide to live with intention, you stop leaving your future to chance. Instead, you create a life that reflects who you truly are and what you truly want. You stop letting outside influences dictate your path and start walking with confidence, knowing that every step you take is yours and yours alone. Self-care is often seen as a luxury or something to be done only when we're overwhelmed or burned out, but in reality, it's a necessity, not a choice. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's essential to being able to show up in the world and give your best. Too often we think that if we're not constantly working, achieving, or helping others, we're not doing enough. But in truth, neglecting yourself, your mental health, your physical health, and your emotional well-being will eventually leave you drained, ineffective, and unable to serve others in the way you truly want to. When you take care of yourself, you're not just recharging your body or your mind, you're refilling your soul. You're giving yourself the space to heal, grow, and reset. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that the more you do for others, the more valuable you are. But the reality is, if you're constantly running on empty, you won't have anything to give. Self-care isn't about being lazy or taking a break from life. It's about ensuring you're in the right condition to live fully and be present in your relationships, your career, and your personal pursuits. It's about setting boundaries and saying no when you need to. It's about recognizing that your time Your energy and your well-being are precious, and you cannot afford to give them away to everyone who demands a piece. It's about recognizing that you're worth the effort to make time for the things that bring you peace and joy, whether that's a walk in nature, a workout at the gym, reading a good book, or simply taking a few moments to breathe and reset. Self-care means nurturing your body with good food, exercise, and rest. It means making sure your mental health is prioritized, that you're not overwhelmed by stress, anxiety, or negative thoughts. It means surrounding yourself with positive influences and people who uplift you, not drain you. It means carving out time to do things that make you feel alive, whether it's a creative pursuit, a hobby, or just taking a moment to appreciate the little things in life. Taking care of yourself is not a one-time thing. It's a consistent practice, something you do regularly to maintain balance in your life. It's about understanding that in order to give your best, you first have to be your best, and being your best starts with taking care of your mind, your body, and your soul. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of the same love and care that you so freely give to others. Too many people sit on the sidelines of life, waiting for permission to chase their dreams. They look for signs, ask for approval, and seek validation from others before they take action. The truth is, life doesn't wait for permission. The world doesn't stop and ask if it's okay for you to be great, and no one is going to hand you the green light to pursue what you're truly passionate about. The moment you realize that waiting for permission is holding you back is the moment your life begins to change. If you're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to go after what you want, you're missing the point. You don't need anyone's permission to live your dream. The only permission you need is your own. Your dreams, goals, and passions are yours and yours alone. And it's up to you to decide when and how to pursue them. You are the author of your own story, and you don't need to wait for someone else's approval to turn the page and start a new chapter. We often hold ourselves back because we fear judgment or failure. We think that if we don't succeed right away, others will criticize us or view us as failures. But what we don't realize is that every great success story is built on a foundation of failures, mistakes, and learning experiences. No one who has achieved something significant has done it without facing obstacles or making missteps along the way. The key is not to wait for the perfect moment, but to create that moment by taking action, learning, growing, and adapting as you go. When you stop waiting for permission, you unlock a new level of freedom. You begin to make decisions based on what feels right for you, not on what others think. You take the risks necessary to make your dreams a reality, even if they scare you. You become less focused on the opinions of others and more focused on what you want to achieve. It's about trusting yourself, taking that first step even when the road ahead seems unclear, and having the courage to continue forward even when obstacles arise. Living your life without seeking permission means taking ownership of your future. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and boldly pursuing what excites you. It means acknowledging that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of success, and that you don't need to wait for anyone's approval to go after it. So stop waiting. Your dreams are ready for you, and the world is waiting for you to take action. We live in a world that constantly tells us we're not enough. Whether it's the media, societal standards, or even the opinions of those around us, there's always a message trying to convince us that we're too much of this or not enough of that. But here's the simple truth. You are enough just as you are. Your worth isn't determined by the opinions of others, the number of accolades you receive, or the standards set by anyone but yourself. When you start to believe that you are enough, everything changes. The way you approach life shifts. You stop seeking validation from others and you begin to find fulfillment in your own achievements, big or small. You stop comparing yourself to others, realizing that your journey is unique and that your path is yours alone to walk. The constant pressure to measure up to someone else's idea of success fades, and you begin to define success on your own terms. This realization that you are enough doesn't mean that you stop growing or striving for better. It means that you accept where you are right now, flaws and all, and embrace your journey without waiting for external validation. It's about knowing that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to change who you are to fit into someone else's mold or to gain their approval. You are already worthy of love, success, and happiness, just as you are in this moment. Believing that you are enough means letting go of self-doubt. It means silencing that inner voice that tells you that you're not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough. Every time you silence that voice and replace it with a thought that says, I am enough, you empower yourself to take bold steps forward, to reach for your dreams, and to overcome obstacles that once seemed impossible. It's easy to get caught up in the race for external markers of success. Titles, material possessions, and the praise of others. But when you recognize that you are enough without needing any of those things to validate you, you begin to find peace in the present moment. You stop living for the next achievement or the next compliment and start living for yourself. You begin to trust your instincts and make decisions that align with your values, not with the expectations others have placed on you. You are not defined by your mistakes or your past. You are defined by the strength it takes to get back up, by the courage to keep moving forward, and by the love and belief you have in yourself. You are enough. And when you fully embrace that, you will find a sense of peace, confidence, and fulfillment that no outside approval can ever provide.